weekly training, and we're all losing LinkedIn because we want some return from it. We want a powerful presence that has the ability to convert people in our network that we've connected with. That's what today's training is all about. And we're looking at three powerful areas that we can use as part of our LinkedIn marketing, where you can convert your network into paying clients. Now, there are three areas within this talk. Out of the three areas within this talk, there is one thing that's in common with all of those. So I want you to keep your eye out for those, and we'll talk about it at the end. And by the way, if we've not met, I'm Jill Chitty. I run LinkedIn Freedom Limited, and we help experts unlock a steady 5 to 10K months income just from using your expertise on LinkedIn without using ads, with simply using organic content and nurture systems. So, how do you create a powerful LinkedIn presence that not only stands out but compels uh, your prospects to take action with you, those next small steps? So here you go. Here's three powerful ways for you to convert from LinkedIn. And remember, look out for that one synergy that links them all together. Excuse me. Now, chances are you're already doing a lot of this stuff, and maybe today will help you join the dots. Um, if not, they're super easy to initiate an action into your business this week. And if you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up or let me know in the comments that you can actually hear me and see me before I kick off. Facebook users, I won't be able to see your name because you haven't given Restream that I'm using permission, so pop your name in as well. Okay, number one, build a community. This has been incredibly powerful for me, and it doesn't take a huge amount of effort. Now, growing a following, you might have a big following. Growing a following isn't the same as building a community. And so if you've got under 30,000 people in your network, you can still dedicate a small amount of time each week to looking at those people who follow you, especially if you're now in creator mode on your LinkedIn profile. Dedicate a small amount of time to people who have followed you but not connected, and invite them to connect with you properly. And that way you get to see what's going on with them, as well as them seeing what's going on with you on the homepage feed and all of that sort of content stuff. And why is that important? Because you're reaching out and you're starting to build a relationship. You're starting then to have a relationship you can nurture, and that's where the beauty comes from. So you want to connect properly. You know, I've seen profiles that have had hundreds of thousands. In fact, I've worked with a few that have had hundreds of thousands of followers, and we're actually getting very little revenue in. And I've worked with one lady who had 100 connections, really targeted connections, and she really got a fantastic amount of revenue into her business. Again, great to see you, Ian. So when you're building a community, it's more than just having a large following. It's really about connecting properly with people so that you can build that relationship. Now, another way to build a community is hashtags. And there's no limit to the number of hashtags that you can use. And you want to be finding those hashtags and following hashtags. If you're going to use them, follow them where your audience are going to hang out. So what are the kind of things that your audience are interested in? You know, if I'm a dog trainer and I want to be the best puppy trainer in the world, I am going to be looking for groups where they're talking about dog health, dog mental health, dog happiness, things to do with your dogs, all of those sort of things And there are millions and millions and millions of groups on LinkedIn. Now, yeah, they're not all well-engaged groups. LinkedIn groups still haven't quite reached the pinnacle of Facebook groups, which are really good communities. But you can still find like-minded people. You can start your own. It's a great way to build a community. You can be talking to like-minded people about the thing that interests them. It's a great way to build community. You need to get to know your network in order to build a community. Who are the people that you're surrounded by? Because when you get to know them, that's how you get to know what they're about, what they like, what they don't like. You can then write content that starts conversations. Welcome, Colin. That starts conversations using your content. You can create stories around the synergy between you and your network that starts conversations. Let people get that sense that, yeah, me too. I do that. I like that. I once had a LinkedIn client who mostly served the Japanese market and a few other Asian markets. And we quickly realized that if he talked about two things that were totally unrelated to his business, he would get tons and tons of engagement on LinkedIn. Those two things were the cricket and the weather. So it was some Indian, definitely some Indian country, some Asian countries, Japan. And he literally would get hundreds of people talking to him because he knew his community. So if you know your community really well, you can start conversations in your content about the sort of things that interest them. That's a start, because communities evolve when there's a sort of shared interest. So it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about the thing of your business. Many businesses that I've worked with either have some commonality with their clients, like they were all in the forces. Maybe they all like art. They all have children. Maybe they've been through a divorce. So find those commonalities, because they build those things outside of work, build communities really, really powerfully. And you will continue to build your community through effective communications and conversations. Now, I can vividly remember when I took my network from being just a network where a few people knew me to being a really vibrant community. And it was the week that lockdown hit. I'd seen it coming because my brother was in that world, and we'd locked our parents down a week early, and everybody thought we were crazy. And then, of course, everybody else followed suit. And I jumped onto a Zoom. I said to my network, let's jump onto a Zoom. Let's get through this together. And let me map out and navigate, as I'm navigating my business, ways that you can navigate your business to get through these tricky waters. And we would have hundreds of people jumping on Zoom every week. It became a really vibrant community. And then, of course, my LinkedIn network reflected that. People were talking to each other as a result of content, and as a result of me commenting on things. So it can be something outside of LinkedIn that also builds your community. But have in mind, it has that shared synergy. It has conversations. These are all ingredients of a really good community. And it has that common interest. So just to recap, groups are great. Creating stories in your content that people can go, God, I've got a very similar story to that. You'll find that you get a lot more engagement when you're sharing those sort of stories. Then the magic happens. That community, which is very different to a network, that's people you know in a network, people you you do business with, your prospect. A community is people you share things with. They become your ambassadors. They start to share your content, or out of a loyalty and a sense of allegiance with you, they regularly and consistently engage in your content, and that pushes your content out. And so actually you don't need a huge amount of engagement. You don't need viral numbers to get your community to work for you in pushing out content. So community is an incredibly useful way to start building something a little bit more than just a network, so that you can convert. Once you're building community, that means you're building relationships. And from that, you can start to convert clients. Now, it's not a quick way. It's something that you need to start doing now, and start having conversations that, maybe you could build your own, create your own hashtag. I've seen many people do that, and start building with that. Let's talk about number 2. And all of these you'll know about. We're just linking the dots for you, which is what we do in the business. Number 2 is building a brand. A really powerful way to convert from LinkedIn is building a brand. And actually, brand makes you stand out, makes you memorable, and it allows you to start building relationships with your customers. Excuse me. And what we teach here is clarity, and of course, brand isn't logo, colors, all of that sort of stuff. It's how you leave people feeling, how recognizable you are, how relatable you are. And we ask three questions, really, really simple questions when we're talking to clients about their brand and their marketing. Who is the one person? So we call it the power of one. Who is the one person that you want to be attracting on LinkedIn? Because you need to write for that person. Everything needs to be focused on the needs, the pains, the desires, the obstacles, the objections of that one person. Then you need to think about, what is the one place that they're at on their journey? Just one place that you can speak into, that you can highlight, that you can change their perspective on, because then you're adding value, right? And what is the one outcome they want? And why is this important? Because your brand needs to be clear. People need to identify immediately with your brand. So, they might say, no, this isn't for me. Well, that's good news, because you don't want those people that you're going to have to waste your time with qualifying or pre-qualifying. You only want to be speaking to people that are 100% potentially going to be great clients for you, that you can impact hugely, and they will help you grow your business. So we've got those 3 things. Once we're clear on those 3 things, our messaging has to be clear. And I was just working on one client's program with him yesterday. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water. And we were working on the messaging. And I've noticed over the years that people make this one mistake. They write marketing messaging like they're speaking. And you've possibly done that in your headline or on your about section. And it's not how we best receive messages. So I want you to think about any copy, any messaging that you've got around the product and your offering. Cut it down by 50% and make it super clear, so that it really resonates. LinkedIn, social media in general, is a hugely busy place. There's thousands and thousands of messages coming at us every minute. And so our messaging, our brand messaging, needs to stand out. There's tons of people on LinkedIn that you can really glean from about getting a really good brand. Again, we've got several questions that we ask people, because let's face it, LinkedIn is really an introductory platform, isn't it? A massive introductory platform. So we say to people, what do you want to be known for? How do you want people to feel? And what can you leave them in terms of value? So what do you want to be known for? Get really clear on that, and you'd be surprised how unclear most people are. How do you want people to feel? Why is feeling important? We looked at this last week. It will be on my activity feed if you want to watch it. Why people buy. People buy out of feelings. And what's the value that you can leave people that will enable them to take the next small step with you. So if I'm I want to be the best UK puppy trainer in the world, I need to get really clear on who my audience are. First-time puppies, puppy owners. It might be puppy owners who've got a very disruptive puppy. Whatever it is, I need to be clear. It might be people who thought that owning a puppy was going to be easy. So getting really clear on all of those, those three questions is really going to give you a strong brand. What happens then? People have an allegiance to you because they feel safe. One of my partners puts it beautifully with the work that he does, is it makes people feel at home. You've elicited trust. You've displayed enough information that resonates and is relative, that people feel they can trust you. So building a brand is one powerful way to convert from LinkedIn. And what that means is very often you're not having to push to get clients, but you pull and you draw people in. You still have to work hard for it, but it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so that's build a community and build a brand. And then finally, it's build a content plan. One of my favorite subjects, content. It's one of the most powerful ways, excuse me, one of the most powerful ways, not only to build a brand and build a community, but to convert. And in fact, we've got a client program coming up, a client workshop coming up that we're opening up end of May. So if you'd like us to invite you, and we're just opening up a few slots. We do this periodically. Just pop workshop into the comments wherever you are, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And my team and I think it's going to go live tomorrow. My team and I will make sure that you're on the wait list and you're the first to be invited. So, content plan, most powerful way to grow and engage network and engage community, solidify your brand. Now, most people aren't doing any content, hugely missed opportunity. But those that are have no structure. And if you've listened to any of our training, you'll know we're all about systems. We have a system for everything. And one of the great things about being more strategic with your content is you cover all the bases. And I've done it both ways. I've worked with people that said, "No, sit down and get the inspiration as it hits." What have you been noticing the day before? Write about that. Keep it grounded in the here and now. So I've tried that, and I would sit looking at a blank screen thinking, what the heck do I write? And what happened was I tended to write in the same style about the same thing in the same way. So I moved to, we have a content wheel with clients that we get them to fill in. That's all about the business stuff, the wisdom that they have pertaining to their expertise. It's all about the addressing the pains that they seek to alleviate in their programs and services. And so we map out themes and subjects and headline hooks for content. But it's not enough just to post industry stuff. This sort of content doesn't get the best of likes. And so we also have the 5 must-have styles of posts, and I'll run through with those with you now. First of all is know, like, and trust. We have to build that know, like, and trust, because nobody's ever bought from you that didn't like you. Likewise, you've never bought something from somebody that you didn't really engage with and like. So know, like, and trust, a little bit of personal stuff, your perspective on stuff, maybe your story, your origin story, stories of things you've been through, stories of clients you've worked with. So there's that one. Then there's your wisdom posts. So that's all the knowledge that you've got around your expertise and your business. And there's tons of ways that we can frame the same information up and keep it coming and keep letting people know what we're about. I haven't got these written in front of me, so I might struggle. Then we've got some engagement posts. So you're looking at, what's going on in the world today? What's going on in society? What are the trends? What are the topics that a lot of people are talking about? So we can jump on that, because one of the dangers, and if you look up any Brendan Kane stuff, he's brilliant on YouTube. One of the dangers is when we've all been told to niche. And what happens is when we niche, it means that the marketing platforms that push out your content on the marketing communication, that push out your content on a platform like LinkedIn, just show it to that narrow niche. So occasionally we have to appeal to a wider audience and talk about things that a lot more people are talking about. So that's the engagement posts. Are you tracking with me, guys? Then we've got spotlight posts. So these are real trust builders. We're talking about things that are going on in your business without people feeling that we're promoting, we're talking about our business. So we'll have stories around what we're doing with clients. We'll have you posting about some sort of system that you've used that went wrong, or why you post, why you work in that particular way. But it highlights, it spotlights key areas of your expertise to build trust. It lets people know, and we love naming our systems, it lets people know and makes them feel safe. This person knows what they're doing. And then we have offer posts, which are my absolute favorite. And these are all about letting people know what's on offer. Surprise, surprise. And what we're getting people to do is just to take one small step with you. And we know that LinkedIn has lovingly called a large majority of your network lurkers. They watch, they read, they consume, but they rarely engage. And so we might say in a post, if you'd like this download, DM me. And or some people will say, and it's worked for me for years, if you're interested in this download of the workbook, pop workbook into the comments. And you have to really test what's going to work for your audience, rather than just taking my hearsay that it works for me and my clients. So those those are the 5 sort of must-have categories of content that we write. And what that does is it gets people knowing you in 3D rather than 2D, feeling that they've got a sense of who you are, and it builds trust, it builds allegiance. And within these posts and content, I think there's really 3 powerful questions that you can ask yourself to people that don't know you, because the majority of your posts will be seen by people that don't know you. So you have to write for those potential clients that you maybe have just connected with, or that are seeing your post as a result of a first degree connection having commented, and so it goes on their post and they see it. So some powerful questions. What do people that know nothing about me need to know about me? What do they need to know that they don't know yet? How can I illuminate them and open the door and let them know the key things that we're about, the key ways that we can help them, that one clear outcome that we can really create a transformation with? How do I want to leave them feeling, and how do I build trust enough to get them to take the next little step with me? That might just be doing a like on your content to start with, or commenting on and engaging in some way. Then, now you've got this content plan that's covering all the bases, then you've got people engaging that you can follow up with. That's a powerful way to convert from LinkedIn. And I wonder if you want to pop this in the comments. What has been the one thread that's been running its way through all of this? You're very welcome, Tevin. It's relationship building. Your brand gives you the ability to build relationships. Building a community comes off the back of you building relationships. Content, in my eyes, are conversation starters. It builds community, it builds brand, and it gives you the ability to build those relationships. Then when you're in relationship with somebody, you've got the ability to start in getting to know them, inviting them into an event. I've just done that really easily. Inviting them to a download. Quite often, each week we will have a download that we can say to people, pop in the comments if you'd like to access this, that goes along with this training. So 3 powerful ways: brand, community, and content, that will enable you to convert so much higher from your LinkedIn network. 3 simple ways that you're probably already doing, but you can start to build on those and become more aware. Thank you for your comments. I think I can only see LinkedIn comments at the moment, but I will go onto YouTube and Facebook and answer all those comments as well. I hope that this has been useful, just to give you a fresh and maybe a different perspective on what you can be doing on LinkedIn. And don't forget, on the 25th of May, at 1 p.m, we are opening up a few places on our client workshop that is called Connection to Client. So the journey that we take people on once we've connected, because how many of us behave like Father Christmas on LinkedIn? We connect with somebody and then we disappear for a year, and then we have something to sell and we pop up a year later and go, hello, bye from me, and it doesn't work. So I'm taking you through that process of what it looks like to take a totally new connection and move them on through a journey onto that marketing journey with you, doing just little steps, leaving little breadcrumbs, things that you can get them to do so that they convert, and doing that consistently. Then you'll have a framework. So if you'd like that, do pop in workshop. We will happily put you on the wait list, and we genuinely only have a few places. So because these are paying clients, so happy to open the door to a small number of people. That's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, we'll be back at coffee time at 11 next Thursday to talk about another area of LinkedIn where we can change your perspective and give you some tactical tools that you can go away and action immediately. Tons of love to you. Stephen will get that to you, and have a great